Hi, welcome to another really important Taboo Wednesday topic. And this is all about salespeople. And the problem salespeople often think they need to be more extroverted. So this is for two sorts of people. This is for salespeople themselves who identify and say, I'm a salesperson. And also people who need to sell, but perhaps don't identify with themselves as being a salesperson, but it's your core expertise, or you've got to sell yourself in an interview. So this applies to everybody in that respect. But the problem is pretty much the same. So if I said to you, how would you describe a typical salesperson, almost like the stereotype or the cliche? And most people would say loud, chatty, gift of the gab, possibly overly confident, even maybe a bit arrogant. And if we're going to push it that far, then we get into one of the sales styles, which is quite aggressive, in your face. And people really don't like that. But most people would think, and a lot of salespeople think they need to be, as one of my clients recently said, I need to have the gift of the gab and I haven't got it. So they are looking at, even though they're an incredibly experienced and very successful salesperson, the problem is they have in their head a stereotype of who they should be compared to actually who they are. So if you're a salesperson who doesn't identify with any of those traits, I promise you, you're not alone. I absolutely promise you, you're not alone on this. But what I do end up working with is people like yourself who think they need to be like this, but get incredibly stressed because while they're going through the process of actually hitting their targets, finding new clients and customers and doing all the things they should be doing, they're stressed because in the back of their mind, they think they should be performing better by being more of this extroverted or even pushy character. So it's a common myth that you need to be an extrovert to be a successful salesperson. Now, years ago, we used to have, if you're old enough to remember, you used to get a lot more pushy salespeople phoning you up in the evening. I mean, we're talking about the cold calling, extreme cold calling aggressiveness. That if you've been on the receiving end of that, whether it's you as a salesperson or you've been taught this, or you're a professional who needs to sell your products and services, or like I say, going for an interview. If you've been on the receiving that, you think that's what you should be. That's the common myth. But I promise you, that style of salesperson is no more effective than any other style. So it does not affect your ability to hit and succeed in your sales targets. And the reason we're calling out as a taboo subject is it's not because you need to become this person. It's because this is what everyone thinks. This is the industry standard that is taught in trainings. To have that unbreakable confidence, to go out there, smash sales, the rah-rah meetings that people have. And someone said to me last week, every Monday we get the pep talk from the manager who says, come on, we're going to do this. And then they play games. Now, the people who like all that, that's fantastic. It does pep them up and get them going. For the people who are not like that, and I would be one of those, it's like, why do we have to do this every week? Just let me get on with it and I'll methodically do this. And so people are motivated in different ways and by different things. So if you are in an environment where you are being motivated by a manager to do this, well, I'll tell you what's going to happen is some people are going to get motivated. The vast majority will be demotivated because it's not who you are. It's not how you like to perform. But it doesn't need to be there. You don't need to be this sort of stereotype to be able to be a really good salesperson. But thinking you should be often causes the opposite effect because many people actively dislike the thought of being that end of the scale, pushy aggressive. They don't even think that they have the gift of the gab. They're not a outwardly going chatty person. Some really good salespeople are very effective because they're quiet, they're introverted, and they are opposite in all ways of this supposed stereotype. But guess what? And this is the really important thing. It works for the sort of client that they're working with. Because I promise you, if you don't like being thought of this way, or you're just simply not that sort of person, and I'm not that sort of person, I'm really not. I makes my skin crawl to be that sort of person. There's a lot of people out there who would actually like you to be more relaxed, more gentle, be able to explain in a different way and not be pushy, not be the life and soul, not be the caricature. Now, obviously, there's a huge rainbow of spectrum here, and having different abilities and being able to be a little bit more pushy or a little bit less is good. That's flexibility of behavior. But if you think you need to be someone other than you are, then you're going to have trouble. And the problem we have and what we see when we're working with either the sales managers and teaching them how to manage sales teams, or with individuals themselves, it almost becomes an obsession that they think this is the way to do it. So it almost becomes sabotage thinking rather than embracing your skills at working in the way that's right for you. And now, if you are the extrovert, I wonder why you're watching this really, but if you are the extrovert and you're really good in a group of people and they are brilliant listening to your stories and you hold attention like that, that's great. That's your style. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're got this thing in your head that you should be like this, I am not good enough. It's almost like an imposter syndrome. That I should be like this. If you're trying to be like this, this is a sabotage thinking that gets in the way of real results. So what we do is we have to work with them to shut this sabotage thinking down. It doesn't take long, about 4 weeks. So then they can build their own unique styles and skills that works for them as a person. Now, if you are a salesperson who has got this almost imposter syndrome thing going on, and you know that you're a good salesperson, but you spend the whole of your time conflicted with yourself about who you should be, but you can't seem to shake it, that's what we're really good at. If you're a sales manager who wants to be better at looking at the different sort of characters you've got in your team, and you don't know how to motivate them individually to get the best out of them. And this is quite normal because a lot of sales managers never actually get any training to be a sales manager. Often they are really good salespeople with their style. And then most people we speak to, that sales style that they have gets imposed on the whole of their team, which won't fit because everyone's different. If you want to improve your ability to motivate your team, then give us a call. This is what we're really good at. We're behavior change specialists. We're really good at showing how people can get better results by working out what's going on in their thinking so they can change their behavior and get better results. That's simply what we do. So I hope this has been useful to you. I hope it's got you thinking, and I hope it's just made you think, oh, damn, I don't like being that sort of style of person. I'm not that sort of style of person. It's okay to be me and do it my way. As long as you're getting results, that's phenomenal. But if you've got any conflicts or you're not allowing yourself to capitalize on your skill and your drive and your enthusiasm and your motivation, you're getting in your own way. Or as I said, you're a sales manager who just wants to be better at motivating the individuals in your team, give us a call and we'll have a conversation and we'll show you what can be done about it. It's actually pretty easy to fix, but the first thing you've got to do is you've got to break this myth that everybody in the sales world needs to be an extrovert. They don't.